This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa Al Jazari through the police body cams. Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope. We have friends and supporters of Mustafa that are joining the podcast. We're going to call into a group call, so they're going to be part of the conversation. Today we have a lot to talk about. Casey, Shirley, Stefana, and Farah, and who's in the top two boxes? Michelle, Becky, how are you, ma'am? Thank you for being part of the conversation. We're going to have more people join the conversation. Now, we're asking everybody to join the conversation. It's been 2 years into the Mustafa Al Jazari case, and Amy Ashworth refused to have an actual conversation. Tracy, how are you, ma'am? Thank you for being part of this conversation. Commonwealth Amy Ashworth and the police department refuse to have an actual conversation. Chief of Police Peter Newsham, we ask that he join the conversation. We ask that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth be honest with the community about what is going on in the Mustafa Al Jazari case. Now, I found it interesting that when you go to the Prince William County Police Department Facebook page, you find Chief of Police Peter Newsham posting about being on a podcast. Well, we're on a podcast. Chief of Police Peter Newsham, if you have nothing to hide and you're not terrified of the details surrounding the Mustafa Al Jazari case, you should have no problem having a conversation with us. Let's pull up that post. So if you go on Facebook and type Prince William County, you'll pull up the page on Facebook for Prince William County, and you'll see the Chief of Police on a podcast. Now, I found it disturbing. This is Chief of Police Peter Newsham on a podcast. Let's zoom in. This is Chief of Police Peter Newsham on a podcast. Now, I found it disturbing that Chief of Police Peter Newsham refused to address the giant elephant in the room. The details surrounding the Mustafa Al Jazari case. And why is it that all his body cams, all his discovery, sealed off from the community, from Mustafa's family, and from Mustafa himself? Commonwealth Amy Ashworth went to Judge Carol Weimer and got a judge order for her to seal off the body cams and the discovery to the Mustafa Al Jazari case. Now, it seems like this is a common practice for Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. Every time you have police misconduct, the Commonwealth Attorney, Amy Ashworth, goes up to the judge and she seals off the body cam and discovery. We find it in Mustafa Al Jazari case. We find it in Tatiana David case. And we're going to take a deep dive into the Tatiana David case. And why is her body cams sealed from the community? From Tatiana's family, from Tatiana's brother, Emmanuel Espada. Now, it seems to be a common practice for Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. For Chief of Police Peter Newsham. He's on a podcast, and they put out a post that says, the Advanced Criminal Justice Program students of Gainesville High School sat down with Prince William County Police Department Chief Newsham today and recorded a podcast on a variety of topics. that included his career path, challenges in law enforcement, and department regulations. Chief Newsham appreciated the opportunity to share time and information with the students. Now, Chief of Police Peter Newsham, I don't hear you address the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. I don't see you address the Tatiana David case. I don't see you address the Juan Campos, 18-year-old Juan Campos, who was found unresponsive in his cell at Prince William County Adult Detention Center 9 days into his incarceration, with his face bashed in from a beating, with inmates that came forward and talked to Detective S.D. Long about Correctional Officer Eric Lindsay, beating up this inmate, this 18-year-old inmate. His face is bashed in from a beating, and the autopsy report says a heart attack. Now, I don't see Chief of Police Peter Newsham address that family of that 18-year-old. I don't see Chief of Police address the other 6 unalived inmates murdered on the hand of correctional officer in our county jail. Chief of Police Peter Newsham, we ask that you have a conversation. Now, Chief of Police, unfortunately for you, sir, we have a police officer out of your own police department who is not happy with the police misconduct that's coming out of the police department. And put sealed and protected material, body cams, documents, discovery documents, on a flash drive and supplied it to me. Now, what I'm actively doing is I'm taking these body cams, discovery documents, and I'm leaking them on the internet through this channel. I'm putting them on social media for the community to see the police misconduct that Prince William County Police Department is engaged in. Now, we're attempting to have a conversation with Chief of Police Peter Newsham. We're attempting to have a conversation with Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. We want answers. We have body cams and documents that show police misconduct, and we're asking and demanding accountability. Now, I find it disturbing that instead of answering and having a conversation and having accountability in our county, we have the county coming after me. And now I'm being sued in Warren County by my own lawyer who was filing a lawsuit for my brother. They're using my own lawyer, Elaine Jarvis, who I was working for her as a paralegal, to do their bidding in a desperate attempt to silence me. So instead of addressing the content of that material, they want to silence the person that's talking about the police misconduct. Now, this is an ongoing fight. I have court on the 26th, February 26th, with Elaine Jarvis in Warren County under Judge Funk. And in that courtroom, we have exhibits, we have evidence that one, Prince William County is using Elaine Jarvis to come after me, lie, and silence me. I have exhibits that will show that a police officer out of Prince William County gave me that material. That I have this material from an outside source. Not from her, from an outside source. From a police officer out of Prince William County. I have exhibits that will show that Elaine Jarvis is lying to Judge Funk. I have exhibits that will show that Elaine Jarvis is engaged in behaviors that are not ethical, that a lawyer should not be engaged in. They purchased that lawyer. For a couple of Benjamins, they bought out your own lawyer. Now, this is an ongoing fight, and we have our day in court, and they made the mistake of coming after me. They failed to They forgot that I am a paralegal. I'm trained as a paralegal. I know how to write my own motions, and I know how to represent myself. Now, we wrote our motion to Judge Funk, and Judge Funk out of Warren County has given us a whole entire day to go over the exhibits that we have. And we look forward to that day. We're going to destroy Elaine Jarvis in court. So that way she doesn't go after another individual who's asking for accountability in his county. Now, this is a beautiful segue into, before we talk about the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, we're going to talk about the Tatiana David case. And it'll be a beautiful segue into the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Now, what we're attempting to demonstrate to this county is the common practice that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth and this police department, under Chief of Police Peter Newsham, the common practice that every time you have police misconduct, they seal off, and instead of having accountability, they go to a judge and seal off the body cams and the discovery. I mean, what's the point of having body cams? I mean, we pay for those body cams. That in case of police misconduct, we can have accountability, and those police officers are held accountable. Now, in Prince William County, every time you have police misconduct, the Commonwealth Attorney will get a judge order to seal off the body cam and discovery. And that's what they did in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. That's what they've done in the Tatiana David case. Now, we're going to pull up what the news says about Tatiana David. And
Right now,
we're going to play and go over body cams that show that the police department engaged in misconduct. Police misconduct engaged in a cover-up. And instead of having accountability, they pretended that nothing happened. Now, let's pull up the news. If you go on YouTube and type up Tatiana David, the news tells you that Tatiana David was found outside the vehicle with bullet holes, insinuating that her boyfriend, who is the father of her child, kidnapped her out of Ithaca, New York, and shot her in the vehicle, shot at the police, and the police found her dead inside her vehicle, inside the vehicle. Now, that's what the news tells us. Let's listen to what the news, Channel 9, tell us.
I've had rehearsal all day today, and I'm so hungry, and there is no way I was going to have any time to come.
Now, we're going to play body cams that are sealed off by the county, that were given to us by a police officer out of Prince William County. They are not happy. He's not happy with what's going on behind closed doors. Now, I want to remind everybody, when we talk about what goes on in Prince William County, what goes on in our police department in Prince William County, not every police officer is responsible for what is going on. There's a lot of police officers that put on that uniform, swear an oath to protect this community. They're from this community, and they're not happy with what's going on behind closed doors. That you have a police officer that supplied us with this material. Now, let's hear what the news is telling us.
Tatiana David, her family described her as a bright light and a beacon of hope. Now they're asking questions about how she died and who is at fault.
Yeah, as you know, we first started following this late last night. It began with an attempted traffic stop on I-95 in Springfield. The driver led police in a high-speed chase 20 miles south before crashing and then firing at police. Officers found Tatiana inside of that car dead. Well, today we also learned she was not in that car.
You hear they say they found her inside the vehicle dead. That's not what we see on body cams. Police body cams show otherwise. The police body cam showed that the driver was dragged out of the vehicle. That Tatiana David was dragged, rolled around like a pretzel. This black girl is rolled around like a pretzel and dragged out of the vehicle with 50 bullet holes in her. 50 AR-15 bullet holes. What they said is they found her inside the vehicle, insinuating that her boyfriend shot her. That's not true. When you see her body riddled with bullets, those are AR-15 bullet holes. But they said they found her inside the vehicle to mislead the community that we're conducting an investigation. We don't know who shot her. She was caught in the crossfire. No, she wasn't. They shot her inside the vehicle. An abductee. And then dragged her outside the vehicle. Repositioned her somewhere else, only to tell the community that we found her outside the vehicle.
Voluntarily, but she was kidnapped. And we just learned 30 minutes ago that the driver is being treated for life-threatening injuries from that shootout, I should say.
And Evan Kozlov has been reporting on this since this morning. He joins us with the latest.
The shootout happened right here along I-95 in the Quantico area, and it snarled traffic for over 15 hours. Virginia State Police say that the driver was shot right here on I-95 and brought to the hospital, but it was his passenger, who police say was abducted, that lost her life right here on the roadway.
She's a military veteran, served her country, did nothing but good in life. She was an amazing person. Everyone that came across
This is her brother, Emmanuel Espada.
Brother of Tatiana David, expressing the family's deep sadness in an exclusive conversation with our Marcella Robertson.
all she did was put good out there in the world.
New York State Police says the 34-year-old mother of a 4-year-old was abducted by gunpoint in Ithaca, New York, and forced into a Jeep Cherokee. Police say the suspect was Michael C. Davis, who the family says is the father of Tatiana's child.
This is sickening. You know, she was such a bright light. She was such a beacon of hope. And now she has her life taken away from her for what?
The car was tracked down just south of the Beltway by Virginia State Police on Wednesday night, some 14 hours after the abduction. Police stopped the car when they noticed it had the wrong plates. After troopers identified Davis as the suspect, he sped off, heading southbound on I-95.
People just wiped out behind the Jersey wall.
Miles away in the Manassas Dumfries area, the car crashed into a guardrail before heading back onto the highway.
This is an article. And this article says, Tatiana David was found dead with an apparent gunshot wound outside of Davis' vehicle. They're telling this community that she was found outside the vehicle. Following a shootout between Virginia State Police and Davis that happened at about 10:05 p.m. on Wednesday, April 5th. It is not yet known whether David's death was caused by a police gunfire or shots fired by David during the incident. Well, that's interesting because we have body cams that show that Tatiana David's body was riddled with AR-15 bullet holes. Takes you 2 seconds to realize that. Why are they lying to the community? The state medical examiner is still investigating her death. I mean, it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years. But what do? You seal off the body cams. And you lie to the community that this is an ongoing investigation. No, it's not. You're engaged in, this police department is engaged in a cover-up. According to Coroner Geller, a Virginia State Police spokesperson, David was also injured during the shooting and remained at Inova Fairfax Hospital on Wednesday, April 11. While hospitalized, he is in custody at Prince William County Adult Detention Center. So, he's held at Prince William County Adult Detention Center. Now, why is this relevant? Why are we talking about this, and how is this a segue into the Mustafa Al-Jazari case? One, the same police officers that showed up at the scene of the vehicle accident where Mustafa Al-Jazari got in a vehicle accident are the same officers involved in the Tatiana David case. And what do you see on body cam? The same police officer that were laughing and profiling Mustafa are the same police officers They are laughing and joking about Tatiana David being shot and her body being dragged out of that vehicle, riddled with AR-15 bullet holes. Casey Fines. Officer Casey Fines out of Prince William County. Now, this officer has not been held accountable. He still roams the street. The next time you call 911, you're going to get, more than likely, Officer Casey Fines. We're going to watch his body cams, and unfortunately for him, we have those body cams. That Commonwealth Amy Ashworth got a judge order to seal off those body cams. Chief of Police Peter Newsham sealed off his body cams, and they hide behind an ongoing investigation, and the body cams sealed off from the community. Now, Chief of Police Peter Newsham says on a podcast, and not one word about the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, about the Tatiana David case. Instead, he talks about random BS that has nothing to do with what goes on behind closed doors. Where is the accountability, Chief of Police Peter Newsham? Let's watch the body cams that are sealed off by Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, sealed off by Chief of Police Peter Newsham. That the county is coming after me, attempting to silence me for talking about police misconduct. I mean, this is a very polite word for murdering somebody. The police murdered this black girl, and we're sitting here calling it police misconduct. Let's watch those body cam. Now, if you go on YouTube, you'll see part 1 all the way to part. There, it's in parts. This is part 1. If you type Tatiana David, you'll see this body cam. And in this body cam, you'll see a police officer gets out their vehicle and approaches that police officer, another police officer with an AR-15, laughing and joking about what just happened. I mean, why are you laughing, sir? You just put 50 bullet hole into a black girl. This is part 1.
I just found out that my data is all over the dark web. I found this tool that actually scans the dark web for your...
This is part 2. You see that police officer right there? Coming up with an AR-15. Let's rewind it just a little bit. I mean, he has nothing to worry about. Doesn't care if he's laughing. He doesn't care if he's joking about that black girl with her body riddled with AR-15 bullet holes. The body cams are sealed off. He has a Commonwealth attorney, a chief of police, that anytime you have police misconduct, they're going to seal off the body cam. No one's going to get to see this body cam. In common practice in Prince William County, that anytime you have police misconduct, they're going to seal them off. Let's watch part 3. This goes all the way to part 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 parts. All right, this is 3. The police officer is coming up on a scene right after that one officer that was laughing and smiling with the AR-15. So she's coming up on the scene. And if you zoom in on that vehicle, you're going to see the driver who they claim is abducted Tatiana David, shot at the police. He's being dragged out of that vehicle, repositioned somewhere else. And you see Tatiana David, you'll see her in part 4.
How many subscriptions are you paying for? 0. How many
This is part 4. Now, you notice that the body cam is muted. They mute whenever they want to control the narrative. What's the point of having a body cam if you're going to mute whenever you want? She's coming up on the vehicle. You see Tatiana David in the back seat with that vehicle riddled with AR-15 bullet holes. Part 5. Tatiana David is in the back seat. At that point, she's already dead. You got 50 bullet holes in her. This is part 6. What you're going to see on this body cam that's sealed off by the county, they say that she was found outside the vehicle with bullet holes. To deceive the community and pretend they're running an investigation, that they don't know where the bullet hole came from. That she was caught in the crossfire. But on this body cam, you're going to see this black girl rolled around like a pretzel and dragged out of that vehicle, repositioned somewhere else, with her body riddled with AR-15 bullet holes.
Can't get her out. The legs are rammed up in there. Grab her arm. Can you move the seat up? Okay.
And that's Prince William County, dragging a black girl, rolled around. They roll her around like a pretzel, drag her out of that vehicle with 50 bullet holes in her body. Now, this video is in the public domain. Prince William County puts out a post. We'll read the post in a minute. And what they say, this is Tatiana David. Part 9, Tatiana David getting dragged out of that vehicle, repositioned somewhere else. And they want to say that they found her outside the vehicle.
Trying these new weight loss shots, but I need it to be more affordable because
You have Officer Casey Fine and other officers that were on the scene of Mustafa Al-Jazari vehicle accident. The same officers that were laughing at Mustafa, profiling Mustafa, are seen here feet away from Tatiana David, from her deceased body, and they're laughing and joking about the whole entire situation. I mean, they know that these body cams are, the community is not going to see it. You have a police officer that will come up, take names, And what are they doing? You have a supervisor or whoever's in charge, and he's collecting names. Mustafa's on the phone? Let me talk to him. Mustafa, hello. This is Mustafa. We're in the middle of a podcast. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa Al-Jazari through the police body cams. Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope. Mustafa, hello.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? Everybody's here. Farah, Casey, Tracy, Stefana, Becky, everybody's here. Everybody wants to say hello to you.
Hi, Mustafa.
Hey, hello. Hello, Casey.
Hi.
Hey, Stefana. Hi. How are you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good. Everything's good. Just hanging in there.
Mustafa, we're talking about Chief of Police Peter Newsham. We're talking about Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. We're talking about accountability. We're talking about the common practice in Prince William County, where every time you have police misconduct, and instead of having accountability, you have a Commonwealth attorney that goes up to a judge and seal off body cams and discovery. Now, Mustafa, you're here, and the floor is yours.
Well, just want to say that I'm sitting in jail on just some people just making up lies about me, and the authorities in government, they know the truth, but instead of trying to do the right thing by upholding the oath that they swore to the community, they just turn a blind eye. And what's worse is that it's not just turning a blind eye, it's actually aiding and abetting the criminals themselves. You got Glenn Ford, you got Tanisha Coleman, you got Amy Hodson, you got Kylie Clapp and her father, Jason Clapp, and some kind of conspiracy with Billy Bain in tandem with the police department, with all these politicians. It's all about money. They don't care about Dorothy or Empress. They don't care about life. They don't care about anyone other than how to make their pockets thicker. When I'm in pain in here, I suffer in grief, pain of aches, pounding pain in my brain. I'm sitting here, got maliciously beat up by giant 15-size shoes stomping on my head because of some individuals who conspired against me, made up lies, and unfortunately for the prosecutors and police officers, they actually took these sources without verifying whether it's credible source or not. Now, it's a responsibility to verify information before you place it as fact. You can't take an opinion and say that's facts. It seems that there's a lot of folks out there that have very strong opinions about me. But these are not facts. These are just opinions. I have a camera in my apartment. I have a camera in my vehicle. And there's a camera at 7-Eleven. And they're charging me with premeditated murder, which is something that I planned. If I'm this big planner, why would I have a camera in my car? Why would I have a camera in my house? The night, early in the morning, the night of the accident, the kids are giving me hugs. Dorothy's giving me a hug. They're all being affectionate. They're all loving me. And it seems like a healthy relationship, healthy environment. And what's going on here is a couple of individuals that are evil, that are tarnishing my reputation, defaming me, slandering me, while I'm defenseless and I'm voiceless while I sit here in solitary confinement. For the past 2 years, I've been silent, against my will, abducted here in jail in Prince William County, Manassas, Virginia, and I've been tortured in America as an American citizen on American soil, where I am grieving over my loved ones that I lost in the blink of an eye in a car accident. and the prosecution wants to complicate it and say it's murder. You're charging me with murder.
Mustafa, unfortunately for this prosecutor, unfortunately for the Commonwealth Attorney, unfortunately for Judge Carol Weimer, unfortunately for Peter Newsham, Chief of Police Peter Newsham, the material that they sealed off by the county, the material, the body cams, and the discovery, is all over the internet. That we're watching it, we're dissecting it, and we're having a conversation about what they're doing to you. Now, it's been 2 years. You have falsified police reports. You have body cams. You have your own dash camera, who in the vehicle shows it's a vehicle accident, are sealed off by this prosecutor. Unfortunately for them, they're all over the internet, and we're having a conversation about what they're doing. No preliminary hearing for 2 years. No trial for 2 years. The evidence they're terrified to put on the record. Now, for a prosecutor that's terrified, for a prosecutor that screams that you're guilty, is terrified to have the evidence on the record. There's a Google Nest video in the apartment. She's terrified to look at them, is terrified to have them on the record, is terrified to have the dash camera, is terrified that the community is going to see this dash camera and see that this is a vehicle accident. For a prosecutor that screams that you're guilty, why is the prosecutor terrified that your dash camera is going to be seen by this community? That the Google Nest is going to be seen by this community? That the evidence is going to be seen by the community? That the evidence is going to be on the records? What's going on here?
What's going on here is total misconduct and authorities that work for the government that are abusing their powers, their positions that they were entrusted by community members. Now, they did that to me today. They're doing that to you tomorrow. Tomorrow it's you. Tomorrow it's your sister, your brother, your son, your daughter, your mother, your father, your grandparents. Someone gets into a car accident, it's going to happen to you. And
Mustafa.
if they do that to me and think they can get away with it, they're thinking they're going to get away with it when it happens to you or your loved ones.
We're already seeing it.
We can't stand for them.
We're already seeing it, right? We're already seeing it. Right before you called, we were talking about the Tatiana David case. How a black girl who's an abductee, was shot and killed by police, and it's a cover-up. They told the community, they sealed off the body cam, the same way they sealed off your body cam, they sealed off her body cam. And what do you see on body cam? You see that the police killed this girl, repositioned her body outside the vehicle, only to tell the media that we found her outside the vehicle. Now, they sealed off her body cam the same way they sealed off your body cam. Now, on this body cam, I find it disturbing to find the same police officers that lied about you are lying about Tatiana David. The same police officer, Casey Fines, the same police officer is on this body cam engaging in the same police misconduct. Where is the accountability from Chief of Police Peter Newsham? Where is the accountability from Commonwealth Amy Ashworth? And it's disturbing to hear you say it's going to happen to you tomorrow when it's already happening. It's just people. This is behind closed doors. Material is sealed off, and the media doesn't tell the community what this police department is doing.
Exactly. And also, now, this is the same police officer that was on my scene, downplaying, playing around, laughing. This individual, Casey Fines, the same individual that was on my scene, was there that night with Tatiana David. Now, Tatiana David is dead. She can't speak for herself. We're fighting for her soul. Now, this is not just justice about me. This is justice for Dorothy and Empress. I lost them in a car accident, and they didn't die on impact. They died at the hospital. But there is no footage of Dorothy or Empress. Where are the body cameras for Dorothy and Empress?
No, I find it. Mustafa, in the discovery, I have a document where it says the first police officer that responded to the vehicle accident, he had his body cam on, and the question is, where is that body cam, and why is it missing from the discovery? Now, in the discovery, it says that body cam is on.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Now, I'll tell you what we're finding out is they failed to airlift Dorothy and Empress. And they don't want anybody to see what happened to Dorothy and Empress because there is neglect on their side. They failed to airlift Dorothy and Empress, and instead they put them in an ambulance vehicle. And that body cam, we're gonna get that body cam. They're gonna have to come out and put that body cam on Discovery to find out what they've done. Now, Mustafa, you have 1 minute. Do me a favor. If you do me a favor, hang up and call again, so we can continue this conversation.
I'm gonna hang up, but I don't have a lot of time, by the way.
I got you.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
In the Discovery, there is a body cam of the first police officer that showed up on the scene. Now, it's disturbing to have that body cam, who in the Discovery says it's on, not be part of the Discovery. What are they attempting to hide?
Dot.
And not having that body cam on the Discovery. Now, we're going to get to the bottom of it, and that body cam will be in the Discovery.
From an inmate at the Prince William Manassas jail. To accept this call, your current balance is $7.75. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello?
Mustafa, this is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope. Mustafa, hello, hello, hello.
Well, hello. How's it going?
So, doing all right, man. Doing okay. We're fighting the good fight. You're in solitary confinement, so you have no choice over the Discovery being released and us having this conversation. Whether you like it or not, we're gonna have a conversation. Now, it sounds like there's a lot of people that are in the police department that are on your side. For a police officer to put this material that's sealed off by the county on a flash drive, supplied to me, only for me to release it on the internet, it sounds like there's a lot of good police officers that are not okay with what's happening to you, what's happening to Tatiana David, and what's happening to other individuals in our county. And the common practice that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, Chief of Police Peter Newsham, is engaged in. I mean, I have Chief of Police Peter Newsham, the police department put up a post about him being on a podcast early this week. Now, I don't see him address your situation. I don't see him address the Tatiana David situation. I don't see him address any situation in this county. And he's avoiding accountability.
Yeah, they have all these behaviors of gaslighting or being passive aggressive, as if like you're just ignoring the elephant in the room. It's right there, quite obvious in front of you. Now, there are correctional officers in here that are rooting for me. Like on the low, they come to me and they tell me they're rooting for me, and they know I'm innocent. They know that, and they tell me that, you know, like they feel so bad for the situation I'm in because they don't approve of any of this misconduct that's going on. But unfortunately, you know, they have to keep their job, they have to pay their bills, so they just do their job and they just keep it moving. But as for the corrupt ones, you know, now they're scared shitless. They're literally shaking and sweating. They're like rodents that have been identified. And, you know, ultimately, their only fate is prison time. Accountability is as transparent as we, the community, people that are breathing and living to do good in life. We have to see eye to eye. I can't sit here as if I'm a prisoner of war. They have abducted me against my will, did not give me any due process, and I've been sitting in solitary confinement for 2 years. I can't get no recreation. I can't get out of my cell. I'm being punished. I'm being punished because I'm being accused of a false crime. I'm not a murderer. I have never committed a crime in my life. In my life, I get into a car accident, and you have a conspiracy of individuals that are conspiring against me, making false statements and making false allegations. Amy Hodson is the main diddler behind the scenes. Amy Hodson is on that body cam saying, thanks to Robert Drum, with Robert Drum's wife, Stephanie Claiborne Drum, where she says, oh my gosh. You remember that video?
You know, Mustafa,
Video right there?
unfortunately for Amy Hodson, we have her body cam and we identified who this lady is. She pretends to be Christine Alcazar on the internet and is trolling the conversation. We have her body cam. We have the information for Amy Hodson. We have the individual, Dale, that picked up the phone. We have located that individual and have turned it in to the FBI department. The DOJ is investigating. Now, I'll tell you, we invite. Now, I have a body cam where Amy Hodson, this individual, who pretends to be Christine Alcazar, under the identity of Christine Alcazar, on body cam, she's Amy Hodson, and on that body cam with the wife of the investigator, who doesn't work for the police department, on three-way. The same investigator, Investigator Robert Drum, who falsified your police report, who we have evidence that falsified your police report, who today we have a letter from Chief of Police Peter Newsham admitting that your police report was falsified. Now, where is accountability from this individual fabricating and lying and pretending to be someone that is not on body cam, giving the police department a narrative, a story that does not make any sense? It's a complete lie. What the police department have done, they used Amy Hodson's, and they used the ex-boyfriend, and they used the neighbor, and what they've done is they manufactured probable cause. This police department is upset that the body cams are out, that we are watching these body cams, reading the discovery, and are finding out that your police reports, and I'm not exaggerating, all your police reports have been falsified. What this police department have done is manufactured probable cause to put you in jail. Until this day, you're sitting in jail on manufactured probable cause. Now they're upset because the individuals they use as witnesses is now a liability. We have the body cam of Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend. We have the body cam of Amy Hodson's. We have the body cam of Kylie. And we're finding out their connection to the club owner who went viral, who almost ran out of business. And we're finding out that all of it is manufactured probable cause. And the police department is now looking at a situation where the witnesses that they're using is now a liability. You have Kylie, 16-year-old Kylie, going up to Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend, and soliciting to kill you and make it look like an accident. Today, we have a vehicle where the police department is inspecting your vehicle, and they find out mechanical failure. Now, this is the star witness into Mustafa, Kylie, the 16-year-old daughter that was never at the apartment, that tells the police a lot of hearsay and says, I wasn't there. You have Kylie, the one that solicited to kill Mustafa, who her dad works for, Billy, the club owner that wanted Mustafa dead for making him go viral. Owner of a strip club. This is a month before Mustafa met Dorothy, Kylie's mom.
My property. How many times do I have to tell him, officer?
And Mustafa meets Dorothy a month into that situation. And in the background, it turns out that Kylie, her dad works for Billy, and he pierces all the strippers. That Kylie apparently is going up to the ex-boyfriend, soliciting to kill Mustafa. What's going on here? The police department is using these individuals as witnesses into Mustafa's character? That's interesting. And then when you pull up the dash camera, you see that it's a vehicle accident. The dash camera, the prosecutor is terrified that the community is watching this dash camera. And what she's hoping that she sealed off the dash camera, she sealed off the body cam, so we can't put the dots together and find out that their witnesses are individuals that hated Mustafa, that wanted Mustafa gone. But we're having a conversation, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. And we demand that Chief Newsham, and instead of being on a podcast talking about nothing, address the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, address the Tatiana David case, address the situations that are happening in this county. Mustafa, I love you, man. I love you. I love you. I love you. I want you to take care of yourself. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a deep dive into the dash camera of Mustafa Al-Jazari, which is concealed by the county because they're terrified that this community is going to find out that this is a vehicle accident, and they've lied about Mustafa Al-Jazari for the past 2 years. Mustafa Al-Jazari has been held in a county jail in solitary confinement for 2 years without a preliminary hearing, without a trial, and his material, the body cam and discovery, is sealed. The prosecutor is terrified. For a prosecutor that screams that Mustafa is guilty in court, man, why are you terrified that the community is going to see the body cam, the dash camera, the discovery? Because you lied, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. And your lies, Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, are going to catch up to you. You've got the DOJ and the FBI investigating. On that note, we're going to take a break, and when we come back... Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for supporting me during these difficult times. Thank you for being there for me, and I just want to say God bless you. I love you all. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and take a break.
Mustafa, I love you. I love everybody. This is Not Another Boring Podcast. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a deep dive into the dash camera, and we're going to dissect this dash camera.